Hello, everyone. Welcome again to this YouTube channel. I hope the content is relevant to you. You can check out the other videos that I have shared on this channel. And I mostly talk about finance tips, some apps that I use to improve on my finance goals. And most specifically, also have interviews with entrepreneurs, investors, VCs, venture capitalists in emerging markets across the world. So, I've talked to venture capitalists who are doing some investing in Africa, some who are doing some work in India, uh, so across the spectrum. And one of the other things I love to share is just some of my personal advice in relation to finance and good financial habits. So this video is going to give some of the lessons that I've learned in my 20s and something that hopefully will be relevant to you, especially folks who are just getting to the 20s in the mid 20s. And just to put it out there, this doesn't necessarily mean it's a holy grail, but I do think these were things that if I had to go back in my early 20s, I'm now in my late 20s. These are things I would love to have, focus more on intentionally invested time in building and also improving. So there are three things listed as you can see on the screen. And I think one is most importantly in your early 20s or even any time of in your lifetime, I think it's very important to take care of your health. When back in your early 20s, you always think about, you don't really think about like sleeping early, exercising. I mean, on average, I think some people are more conscious about that than others. But I do think, when in your 20s, you feel like you're invisible, you're invincible. You don't really consider about like, terrible things can happen, which, just by its, life is as fragile as you might not know otherwise. So like having a health insurance, you know, taking care of yourself, right? Exercising and all that. I think those are things that if I had, you know, gone back into my early 20s, those are things that I could have been really, like really invested time, especially in exercising. And I do encourage people in the early 20s to actually make this as a routine and develop it as a habit to exercise. Another thing that the second thing that I really wanted to share is like your finances. And what I mean by that is just learn more about things like investing. With apps like Robinhood and Public, which are accessible apps on your phone, you can just start allocating some cash towards that and just learning it. The goal is not to make money out of it on the onset, but it's actually to start cultivating the habit to really understand where the markets are, the capital markets are, and to build a mindset of how to think of what are the alternative financial vehicles out there that you can hedge against traditional routes like not getting a job where it's payment of a monthly payment or a weekly payment or whatever a job requirements, which is still fine, but learn about different financial alternatives and start building those habits to learn how to diversify your sources for income and intentionally making an effort to do that. And you can start very small. I think Robinhood is a very good place to start because that's a luxury that we have now. That I think when I was in my early 20s, we probably didn't have that. But other things like think of real estate. Trying to start think about how to learn more about real estate, learn more about how mortgages work, learning more about how you can buy a house affordably, cheap, and at a very low cost, so that in a neighborhood that over time you can appreciate and you can have this long-term gain. It takes a while for a house for you to actually get the benefits of purchasing a house. So I think these are really, really good skills to actually just start learning in your early 20s and building that as you get through your 20s into your 30s. And one other thing, the third point that I wanted to share is the importance of taking risk. So what I mean specifically here is measured risk. So risk that you know that the losses has a bottom, right? So not necessarily taking the craziest risk ever, but just trying to, if there is this project that you're just too worried about in school that has to do something, um, getting out of your comfort zone, just try it out. So this has to do in relation to school related work, projects that can be interesting but a little bit intimidating. Um, and things that just feel like it's out of your comfort zone, but it has some measures set around it such that you have the insurance that if things go south, you're able to contain the losses, right? uh, you know, take a strike at it. Make an effort to actually just try it, and you might be surprised that that's the thing that will actually lead you to really finding out more about yourself and maybe potentially build a career that you never otherwise start, right? Because I think the way the system has opened up with the internet and with YouTube and regular folks like me doing a podcast and get into all these medias, literally a media, it provides you with a lot of alternatives to traditional ways of career building, right? So I think opening yourself up to new things and being more receptive to different ideas and, and taking a little bit of measured risk can take a long way in your 20s. And the last one, which I didn't add here because I wanted to do this, talk about this in the live video, was one thing, and then these are two things for the last point. You have to be very professional and kind. I do think professionalism is something that is not really clearly articulated in um, in the way uh, we teach in schools. Most of the time, they just expect you to be professional, but you actually have to be intentional in your professionalism. You have to show up on time. You have to speak well. You have to take your project seriously, and when you're given a project, over deliver. Put in the best work you have to put in. Write your emails very professionally. Present yourself always professionally. Um, be always look professional. All these things are things that are um, um, they're very settled, but you have to proactively put that effort in and always consciously think about that. And if that was something that I had known in my early 20s, or probably be more intentional about it, because it goes a really long way and can really, really give people the the respect that you well deserve. And also it gives people the opportunity to take you um, at your word and believe in you, and just have confidence in your ability. So professionalism is very important, and attached to that is you have to be kind. I think kindness is underrated, um, undervalued, but being kind, with not being too kind that you lose being wise, but being just kind to people, being kind to yourself first of all. If you make a mistake, just take a step back and acknowledge the positives that you have done, the good decisions you've made, and when you start being kind to yourself, which is the start, try as much as possible to be kind to others. So just to go through the 4 points, which the fourth is not listed here. One is take care of your health, be very serious about it, be very cognizant about the implications of just exercising consistently, and it doesn't have to be something excessive, just something that is steady. And the second is trying to think of your finances, trying at a very early stage think of how to diversify your income channels, and just learning about how to get into markets that traditionally we don't learn about that in school, right? So with apps like Robinhood and all that, you can actually get into a space where if you actually understand it in your early 20s, you can actually, start thinking of long-term investment that will help you a lot in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and more. Always take measured risk, try new things, be curious, take action, because I think that's a critical part of it. Don't just think about it, take action. consciously make an effort and put in your best. And the last point is, always be professional in the way you write your emails, the way you dress, the way you think about how you make decisions, how you treat others, um, because all those things embody the reflection of what people expect, what people think of you, and that goes a really long way. Because I think one of the greatest assets that you might never get back is your reputation, and it takes a really long time to rebuild that. So professionalism is very critical. And last but not least, being kind. I think being kind to yourself, especially when those 20s is one of the most formative period of people's lives, and being kind to yourself and not being too judgmental of yourself is very critical in how you develop personality, but also how you treat other people, right? So being kind to yourself first and being kind to others, it's really goes really, really long way to actually help you in the later phase of your life. So that's it for me today. And please, I'd love to share more videos like this. If you like this video, please comment, like the video. You can click the bell icon to get more information, to get more videos like this, and my interviews with entrepreneurs and investors in emerging markets. And I'd love to share more based on your feedback and what you think if this was relevant to you. Please let me know in the comment section, and I'll see you guys next video, and take care.